Hey, how you doing? This is Tamor Davis from Do Funk Magazine here with Elder Sensei, noted graffiti artist, noted member of the group Artifacts, well-renowned group of the Artifacts that actually came out as far back as 1994, if I'm not mistaken. In fact, you
About,
just
about 92,
92?
93, we put out a record, Nubian Crackers, Do You Want to Hear It? So
Okay.
officially 92, 90, but our own album, 94.
94, and so you were signed with at one point Big Beat Records,
Yeah, Big Beat Atlantic Records, yeah.
and your colleague
Tame,
Tame
yeah.
of the Artifacts, and also
DJ Chaos.
Peace be upon him,
Mhm.
DJ Chaos. So I wanted to ask you, how long have you been engaged in the hip hop industry, and what was the spark?
Well, professionally in the industry or
Yeah.
just hip hop in general?
Hip hop in general.
Since I was 11 years old, I've been into hip hop. B-boy first.
Wow, pop locking and
Yeah, on everything, footwork, windmills, headspin, you name it.
Wow.
I did all of that. Got into graffiti after that. You know, went to New York first time, went to the Bronx Zoo, and I heard about it, and I saw it for the first time, and I was hooked. Same day I came home, Star Wars came on TV.
oh,
And,
so wow,
yeah,
everything
it was just all at one time. I was like, but I knew about everything because I was going to New York to Washington Square Park. We go there, and, you know. That was the only time I would go, kind of almost by myself, because I would go with my parents because we would just go out there, lay cardboard out, a couple of my friends, and we just started breaking all day.
So were you a part of any great breaking groups in New York?
Nah, but in Jersey here, I had a few affiliated crews I was down with. Break Force, that was in East Orange. They had a crew called the Wiz Kids. My man put me down with them. My man Kurt. So you know, I tried to do as much as I could in the neighborhood until I started getting the bug as far as doing the MCing.
So in addition to doing the breakdance, and you also was intrigued by the graffiti, the
Yeah,
artwork, and
that all tied into the artwork because I was, as a kid, making my own comic books. You know, making my
Wow.
own renditions of Pac-Man characters, whether if it was G.I. Joe, Transformers, anything that I read a lot of comic books. So I drew what I saw and made my own, you know, version of it. But graffiti definitely, you know, that was a whole another form of artwork. Even though I didn't get a chance to do it so much, say on the wall, that my father was real strict on me with that. But I remember seeing Porno and Tame and Max and a couple of other cats, you know, Nas, you know, seeing their pieces in the hood.
Peace be upon him, too nasty.
Word, no doubt, rest in peace. You know,
Yeah.
to see all their pieces in the hood, you know, that's when I really was like, okay, I need to, you know, not say to be doing this, but I need to know who they are.
Now, did you go to Bellsbury High School?
Now I went to East Orange,
East
East
Orange
Orange
High
High School, yeah, and it was crazy because I was going to East Orange. I lived in Irvington, so I was back and forth. It didn't bother me about that because nobody really knew. I had an address at my grandmother's house and over there on Arlington. So, you know, I was back and forth. But I was definitely, as a kid, like we talked about, going to Arts High
On
Saturday.
On Saturday classes.
Everybody I knew that did graffiti went there on Saturday, and that would be like, you know, 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning until
Like 12 or 2.
1 o'clock.
Yeah,
and
on
you
the
would leave there.
On the fourth floor of Arts High School.
Exactly. You leave there, go downtown, go to Burger King was right there. You know, you know, just hang out. You know,
Right across from Essex County College.
Exactly.
Right across from that. And so in at the Arts High School, at the Saturday classes, did you meet artists? Did you?
I actually met Nas there.
To Nasty Nas?
Yeah, I met Nas. I met Jerry there.
Wow.
And, I think I met Too Sweet Hakeem there too.
Oh wow.
And he's an OG. You know, he's actually Too Sweet used to go with my aunt when they was younger.
Okay.
So I used to always see him.
Okay.
So, you know.
So he was teaching you
Yeah,
style.
he never told. He knew that I was a b-boy, but I knew that he was a. You know, I was young, so I knew he was into that, and I was. But I did ask him about it, but he never taught me anything like nothing like that. But I would see a lot of his work.
What about Revenge? Did you meet?
Nah, Rev was my dude. I mean, it was a long-lasting rumor about Rev
Yeah, I heard about the rumor too.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
not true. It's not true.
It's not true at all?
No, he's a lie.
Wow, is he in Jersey or?
No, I think he still may be in Jamaica, but I have confirmed proof that whatever you heard, he's good. He's good.
Wow. So, in terms of at Ars High School, did you do your characters there? Character development
Yeah.
and all that
I mean, that was nice because, you know, you was able to just see, like, for me, you know, I was drawing, like I said, superhero type stuff mixed with graffiti. But when you go around the room, you see, like, everybody else's stuff. And it just makes you feel like, wow, like, I'm doing nothing. Like, you know, because Cass was in there doing all kind of, you know, artwork. And you can tell that they was into graffiti. So that blew me up because I was just like, wow, okay. But Nas, you know, he was the one dude that, like, I would say, you know, befriended me in there, where it's like, because he saw what kind of thing I was doing. But just over the years, he was just a good dude. Just gave me advice. You know, just always wanted to impress him.
You got
You know, to let him know that I saw a lot more than what he was doing than just artwork. Just seeing his, you know, throw ups where, you know, just detoxing the ghetto, the messages he had in his artwork, that it was different than a lot of what everybody else is doing.
He, in my mind, and seeing a lot of Jerry Gant's artwork around, I would consider Jerry Gant somebody like a social engineer
Exactly.
that was actually changing the different aspects of popular culture. When I seen the writing on the wall and a lot of the positive sayings when I was on 31 bus and, you know, just traveling across North,
Right.
I didn't know how impactful he would be like years later in terms of just changing the whole culture of art.
I mean, with a lot of people ask us when we go out of town or when we do a lot of interviews, like, you know, what's the graffiti scene like in Jersey? And I tell them, you know, from the areas that we live at, it's not so much we can do wall-wise where, say, you know, once it got to a certain point, you know, it wasn't like we was getting permission to do all this stuff, and graffiti task force shutting everything down, and, you know,
That was like in '89.
Newark ain't New York, you know,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But it lasted throughout the 90s,
Yeah.
early 90s and late 90s. But it's not like, you know, a epidemic how it was, well, you know, as far as New York was with the train system.
Yeah, because
You
it
know,
was a
yeah,
bit more socially
you know,
complex.
and
Yeah.
you never saw the PATH train like that. So,
Yeah.
you know, New Jersey was always a small community of writers, and it was all of the dudes that we both know.
Yeah.
So, you know, rather, other than just traveling outside of our area, and, you know, you got dudes like Snow, you know, from Patterson. I'm sure, not, that's where he's from, but he's one of the guys, QM8 crew, that, like, he did the piece for us for the Wrong Side video.
Yeah, I seen it in the
the
artifacts
background,
piece,
and he did that.
Just
you know.
lettering with.
Well, he had the piece in the video where everybody was standing behind, but I remember him, Tame, and Pointer when they was out there just painting. But I remember he had to do it twice because somebody messed it up and he had to do it again. So it was
Right
crazy.
before the video was
Yeah,
actually
exactly.
shot. Right
Yeah,
before it
yeah.
was shot. So how did you meet like your partner, in artifacts? How did you meet Tang?
Well, Tame, you know, like I said, I saw his name everywhere, and I just pretty much was like, you know, I got to meet this dude. But I knew Jay Byrne, and Jay Byrne was in school with me in East Orange. So Jay lived in East Orange, I lived in East Orange, so I saw him not knowing that he knew Tame, but he used to always talk about him. So Polo Ice was another bridge in between me and Tame where I didn't know he knew Tame, but me and Ice was best friends.
Okay.
So, long story short, he found out about me, but then I started going to Rhino's crib for the Boss Mob crew when I started doing songs and getting real with the music I was doing. Rhino was doing all the beats, and I didn't know that in this Colonnades apartment was where Tame would be hanging out at. So I'm in the house and okay, Tame, man. Oh, so he be here? He's like, yeah. I said, he rhymed too? He's like, yeah. He's like, ain't he dope? I'm like, really, man, here's some. I hear some songs, and then every time I went to go to the studio, he wouldn't be there. Every time he would go, I wouldn't be there. And one day we both was there at the same time. And that's when we just clicked and did a song. And then we kept doing songs. And then one thing led to another. And then we became That's Them. And then we went to New York.
Your second album with Big Beat is called That's Them.
Exactly.
And that was in reference to
The
name of the crew.
Yes, because when we went to Atlantic and sat there and they, we played them the demo, they didn't even care about the demo. They liked the songs, but they was like, look, we heard what y'all did on this radio show with Stretch and Bobito, and we convinced already. So we just want to get y'all the deal. Here get the contract, let us know, get the lawyer to look at it. We was like, oh shit. We ain't, we didn't know it was gonna be not say that easy, because it wasn't like we have a story of endless labels to going to dropping off demo tapes.
So that was the
It wasn't
first
nothing like that.
label that you, okay.
Because we had Bobito, he had connections already. Stretch was working at Atlantic at Big B, and Rob Tulo was working at Atlantic. So him and Stretch just brought us there, and already there was Double X Posse, and
Wow.
they was already working with them. So it was like Big B was a indie label that like Robin S.
Was that
That
Craig
was
Commons label?
that was their hottest record at the time.
Oh yeah, I
when we got
remember that
signed.
record. Was that Craig Commons label?
Actually, I don't know when Craig came in, but when we came in, it was like more or less of a house record. Kenny Dope,
Oh wow.
break records. That's what they was putting out, and then they signed Double X, and they signed us, and we were both out there just putting out records. So
Oh wow.
the whole process of Artifacts. We came to the label as That's Them, and like I said, they heard the music, was like, okay, but it's dope, but the name That's Them, I don't know. We was like, wow. We going home on the PAP train. They said, yeah, I gotta fix that. We said, damn, okay, so what we gonna do? I'm looking at Tane, we riding. He looking at me, and I just looked at him. And I was like, I don't know why I said it, but it was just Artifacts. He was like, all the way home on the train. We like get in the crib. Of course, we already knew what it meant, but just to see it in writing, in words, anything from ancient times being brought to new times, study, boom, 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 boom. And we like, okay, that's us. That's it. That's what we do. We still do Graf. Nobody talking about graffiti. When it comes to hip hop, right now, we was B-boys. We was this. We was that. We still like that now.
But outside of Rakim, because I remember Rakim had the line said, rhyming, graffiti, and every show you see me.
Right.
A lot of the hip hop artists wasn't really rapping about the impact.
No,
of
that's where we came in. You know what I mean? Like KRS did a single review on the radio, and for Wrong Side, and when I heard that, I couldn't believe it, because he was like, yo, it was crazy, and because toward the end of it, he's like, it's crazy that a group from New Jersey shed light on something of a song about graffiti when New York started graffiti. But we came out of nowhere, and then you notice after we did Wrong Side, he came out with 2 songs.
Yeah.
Out for Fame,
Yeah.
and he.
So it was an influence on those. You would argue that could. Influence.
Yeah, I mean, for him, and a lot of graffiti artists, and like this is everywhere. We get approached by everybody. I don't care who they are.
Whether you're in Barcelona.
I don't care where you from. And they all say the same thing. Yo, that was the anthem. We go painting. Everybody just, my crew, everybody just, they all say the same thing in all different languages, but they all say the same thing. And when we go painting, we will play this record to death and just be on the mission and be souped up to play it.
Still to this day.
Still to this day, I met gang members in LA. They stayed up, hard body, big dude, everything. Was like, yo, bro, we used to go out painting. We play that song, bro. Like, yeah, I can't do nothing but say thank you.
So wherever you go in the world, you get
Anywhere,
love.
you know what I'm saying? And when it got something to do with that song, I don't care. We could do 18 songs in the show. That one song, I don't care. They'll know that one song because they know that the horns. But we're famous for that song. So
How did y'all come about that song, though? How did y'all?
we was in T-Ray's crib in Brooklyn, and we was already in his house, in his crib, going through records, And we already knew the record already, Night Creation, Bubblegum, and we didn't care who used it at the time. Sharp Rock, Entice, Third Base, whoever. We didn't care. Even Pete Rock used a little piece of it, but we was like, okay, we're gonna use this. We don't care. We pulled the drums out, same drums, Buckshot and them used for how many MCs, and we just gonna use this right here. Chop the drums up, and the whole the whole thing of the song is the horn stuff.
How did y'all come about? How did you know, or you probably didn't know, that it would be successful as a single?
Honestly, I rewind it, and the song really, Wrong Side happened really because of Lord Jamar, Brand Newbie.
Oh, wow.
So we used to go to their crib in New Rochelle, and they was trying to put us out, help us out or whatever. And Jamar did the beat for the song, but it was a James Brown sample. The song is on YouTube, it's on actually on vinyl, F5 Records. We pressed that up and had the demo version on the other side. And Jamar, because we couldn't clear the sample, I asked him to come up with another track because we couldn't use that. But he wrote the hook. If you hear the demo, it's the same song but different beat, and him saying the hook, but it's.
I never got a chance to hear the
demo.
demo.
When you get a chance, I'll let you know about it. But it's only thing Jamar saying the hook instead of me.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the vocals, the words, everything the same. But when we couldn't clear the sample, we had to change the beat around, and that's when we got the T-Ray in Brooklyn, and we came up with the track. I couldn't get Jamar to do the hook on the new version of what you hear today, but rest assured, the way I'm saying it,
it's the same way it was
it's the same way Lord Jamar said it on the demo version, but I took out, we couldn't curse, so he had to change that part around, but other than that is still his,
same
still his idea, and I'm blessed, and we thanked him for, doing that for us, because I know today, he never probably thought it would be the song that it would be, like us, ourselves, we didn't know. That two black dudes was gonna make a song
that last
about graffiti, whereas today, there's not a lot of us involved in graffiti like that right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, we shed light on a subject that was worldwide. It worked.
So in terms of tours, like, you've been in professionally involved in hip hop for over 25 years.
Yep.
Who are some of the people that the group had the opportunity to actually tour with?
Sadat X, Edo G, Onyx, name it, J. Rue the Damager, Group Home, OC.
And y'all were helping some of those groups come into the pipeline.
Well, anybody that came through the pipeline, like I remember when rest in peace, Rock Raider, he came through the pipeline. We brought him. He was already DJing for us, but that was like he wanted to meet Chaos because he knew Chaos was going to be our DJ because Raider was going to do the DMC battles and stuff. So we had to get a new. We had to actually. Raider wanted to give him an audition. We already knew Chaos, but he was like, no, I need it. I'm like, okay. So we brought him through. Pipeline was a place that we all, brought people through, or they heard about it and came.
Like the hand-to-hand lyrical combat.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of, even Just Blaze was a part of the pipeline.
Just was a regular, and he's still that guy, despite him doing as many songs as he's done with Jay-Z and whoever else, Usher. This dude is a real cat, and I feel good when I see him because I know he came from that.
And y'all still talk when you
see him? Definitely. Mm-hmm. He a low head too, so I'm every time I see him, he's like, let me see him, what you got? I'm like, dude.
Yeah. Where do you think hip hop is going now? For the last 20 years, being a professional, do you think hip hop is turning for the better? Do you think hip hop is turning for the worse? I mean, because you've seen hip hop not just in the United States, but you've seen hip hop all over the world.
Right. I mean, I tell a lot of people today I don't think about it like that no more, because when you think about it, a lot of the songs that we used to make, whether it's Common, I used to love her, whether it was a lot of the songs that was combating the system. The system is broken right now as far as hip hop. So it's really, you know, you think about these songs, and it was like it was a good versus evil thing, you know, where it was like either you sell your soul to make a certain amount of record, certain music to make money, and now it's just two different levels now. You got like this one level of these kids today is just all, I don't know what they, you know, I get it, but I don't know what they're saying. I get, you know, but then you got the older dudes, we on this level, and we mad at them because they're not doing it like we used to do it, and they calling us old head. It's kind of twisted right now. So, but what I will say is that there's room for everybody. You know, Jay-Z said something in the Fade to Black movie was, everybody not gonna be the king, and everybody can't be the number one. It's impossible. Even when I hate when they have the categories who get top five. I hate that. I hate it. I would like to curse, but I hate it because no one's top five should change every so many years because new artists come. Your top five should stay the same. Just you can't have a top five. Because you either gonna add names to it and have a subsidiary list or something like that.
Like you can have a top five for.
Like you can't change your top five because somebody gets older. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? If you like Coogee Rap, you like Coogee Rap. It's not gonna change. I like Coogee Rap. Not if your level of is Nas, Jay-Z, it could be. It's no problem that it could be Coogee Rap and then Big Daddy Kane, or say Rakim and then say Big Daddy Kane, because people get so like, oh my God, I can't pick right. I'm like, yes you can. Hip hop is this big. It's different than saying like growing up watching football and you have one team that you like throughout your whole life. But guess what happens in that life?